what's going on, guys? It's your boy. Welcome back to another video. Today's going to be very hectic and all over the place and very chaotic. I am basically doing another episode of Unfiltered Talks, but we're going to be talking about The Boys Season 4. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying the season so far. I think that they released a new episode today. I haven't had a chance to see it. So based off of just the first 3 episodes that they released, I'm going to give kind of survival percentages for each character and kind of like rate on a scale of like 1 to 10 what I think the odds of them dying is. So if I think that they're going to die, I'm going to give it a 10. If I think that they're not going to die, I'm going to give them a 1. And we're just going to go through literally every single character on the show. I have all the characters written down on a little note card here, and we're just going to go at it. So starting with the first one, we're going to start with The Boys. Mother's Milk. Do I think he's going to die? No. I feel like Mother's Milk is one of the few characters that I think is genuinely safe this season. I don't think that he's going to do anything too ridiculous. I don't think that he is going to die. If he is, I feel like it would probably be in some kind of sacrifice play, and it would be a really great and meaningful moment. That being said, I feel like of the boys, he's the least likely. So I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. But that being said, since he is a human character, there's always a chance that he'll die. I just don't see it happening. Next up, going to Kimiko. Based off of what we've seen of her so far this season, I'm low-key starting to think that she can't die. So once again, I don't think that the odds of her dying is very high, but that being said, she's another one of those characters where I could see her dying in some kind of big sacrifice way. And as of right now, I don't really know exactly what's going on with her character arc or where her character is going to be going this season, because it seems like she wants to go be a freedom fighter and she wants to go do a lot of different random side quests and side missions. So I think that her passing away in this season just seems very unlikely to me. I just feel like she's a character who is going to make it through to the end of the show. So Kimiko, once again, I'm going to give him a very low rating. I'm going to give him a 2 out of 10. But now to get into one that I think might potentially die, we're going to talk about Frenchie. I like Frenchie. I like everything that they've done with his character so far up to this point. I think that he's one of the most compassionate members of the boys. I feel like overall he is very, very kind to everybody, and he's very sweet. And the fact that they're kind of setting him up to have this like romantic arc that he's having right now with Colin, definitely kind of does seem like they are setting him up to potentially have some emotional ties. I would not be surprised if Colin gets killed off, and then that kind of like motivates Frenchie to sober up and kind of go back to how he was in the last season and how he was finally getting better. But that being said, I do think of the boys, Frenchie is the one that I most likely think is going to pass away. So I'm going to give Frenchie a 9 out of 10. I don't want it to happen. He is one of my favorite characters, and I personally think that right now that they're giving more representation for bi characters, I think that it would be kind of not the smartest move to kill him off. But that being said, I wouldn't put it past the boys to kill him off at this point in the show. I do really like him, and I hope it doesn't happen. That being said, next up, onto another human character, we have Huey. He's been the main character of the show since pretty much the beginning of the show. I don't think they're going to kill him off. I think that if they do kill him off, they're going to save it for the final season, and it's going to be a very, very big character moment. So as of right now, I think that Huey's pretty safe. I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10. That being said, we're going to get to it later, but I don't think either of his parents are going to survive this season. The next one, we got Starlight. She is another character who I feel like a lot of fans would probably be okay with dying right now, which is kind of a very sad thing to say. But that being said, I feel like at this point in the show, they're kind of slowly building up, like she's getting a little bit more powerful, but we still don't really fully understand what her powers are exactly. She kind of like draws from electricity in the area, and she can make like little light beams. What does that mean? I like the fact that they've kind of set up the fact that she can fly now, and she's kind of like Iron Man in that sense, but we haven't seen her fly very quickly. We haven't seen her do anything that really shows that she potentially would be able to face Homelander, and I think that if she does end up having to fight Homelander, it's not going to end very well for her. So I'm going to give Starlight probably a 6 out of 10. I think that she's another character who very much could be on the chopping block, and especially with if they're potentially going to be trying to get A-Train to kind of help out with the boys a little bit more. Having multiple soups on the boys doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That being said, neither here nor there. She is kind of one of the main characters right now who's driving the story forward, because it's the Starlighters versus the Homelander supporters. I could see her completely living through the season 2. Either way, I don't know. I feel like her dying just makes sense, but I don't think they're going to do it. That being said, one character who more than likely 100% is going to die, and if he doesn't die this season, I will be shocked. Butcher. Personally, I don't want him to die. I think that he's one of the best parts of the show, and I think that he continuously is just kind of saving the day and is constantly being basically what makes the boys, and he's one of the most ruthless characters on the show. He's somebody who's never afraid to do what it takes to get the job done, and I really like the fact that he's really over the top and he's doing a lot of like crazy, reckless, stupid things. But that being said, he has a 6-month timer. He's probably not going to make it to the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes some kind of like temp fee or something towards the end of the season to kind of like help another superhero take on Homelander, and then this season end with like Homelander getting seriously injured because Butcher made that sacrifice. So I'm giving Butcher a 10 out of 10. I don't think he's surviving past this season as much as a lot of people really want him to. I think it would just make a lot of sense to kill him off this season, and then his death kind of being one of the things that pushes the boys forward into next season, where they have to finally finish the job and kill Homelander. That being said, that's pretty much it for the boys side of things. I'm gonna go ahead and include the character who's being played by Dean Jeffrey Morgan. Did I just butcher his name? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I did butcher his name. That's my bad. I think that his character is imaginary and doesn't actually exist, so I don't think he can die. I will go ahead and assume that he's a character who already has passed away. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the odds of him dying is 10 out of 10 because he probably already is. That being said, that was all of the boys, all of the good people. Now we're going to kind of switch gears and talk about the 7 lineup that we currently have. Starting off with Homelander, I'm giving him a 0 out of 10. He's 100% surviving through this season. He's going to be the big bad of the next season, and they've already confirmed season 5 is going to be the last season of the boys, so I think that it's safe to say Homelander is surviving this season. Then going on to the next one, we got the Deep. I think that the Deep is a character who is incredibly famous. He's incredibly hilarious. He's one of the main reasons why a lot of people who've been supporting the show for so long have been supporting the show. He's just absolutely hilarious. He's had so many weird different character arcs, and he's just like probably like the best comic relief character in this entire show, in my opinion. So I would be genuinely surprised if they kill him off. That being said, he's not the best sidekick. He's not one of the best members of the 7. He's always doing things to kind of like put the 7 in an awkward position. So I'm gonna give his odds of survival probably a 3 out of 10. Once again, I think that he has a pretty solid chance of making it through the season, but just because he is so close to Homelander, anything can happen at any given point. And I don't want to say he's gonna live and then end up being completely wrong. The next one, we're gonna talk about A-Train. This kills me to say it because I really want him to live, and I really want him to like fully switch over to being on the boys, and by the end of the season he's on the boys lineup, and he's kind of like one of the few superheroes who is definitely actually a hero and is fighting for good. And I really would like him to publicly kind of like stand against the bot. That being said, I don't think it's going to happen. I think that he probably will be killed off during this season, and it will probably be in a really cool moment where he sacrifices himself, and him and Homelander have a really interesting fight sequence. That being said, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I could see it happening. I'm going to give A-Train an 8 out of 10. I think that the odds of him dying are pretty high. The next one, we're going to be talking about Black Noir. I feel like since he hasn't died yet, he's not going to. I'm going to give him a 2 out of 10. This new Black Noir is absolutely hilarious. He's very talkative. He's very chatty. But I think at the end of the day, he is more than likely a soup, and he has some kind of crazy powers. And I'm really looking forward to eventually figuring out what those powers are and why specifically they picked this guy to replace Black Noir on the team. Overall, I like him. I think he's great, and I really think that it would be a bad move to kill Noir off. I think that he's been consistently one of the members of the 7 for even longer than I believe Homelander was, so keeping him on the team just makes sense. The next one, Sister Sage, I'm almost like 70% confident she's dying before this season is over. Homelander's already tired of her. Homelander thought that he wanted somebody to kind of like balance the scales and kind of like keep him in check a little bit, and now that she has been, I think that it's going to bring up bad memories. It's going to remind him of Stan Edgar. It's going to remind him of the lady who was before Stan Edgar, who I'm completely blanking on her name right now. And I feel like it's basically just kind of like driving him insane right now that he has this person who's in control of him. And even though he really wanted that and he wanted somebody to kind of contest his thoughts and kind of help him branch out and figure out things differently, he's already regretting it, and he's already losing his patience, and he's a madman, and he's already killing people before he should be. So I think Sister Sage is on the chopping block. I'm going to give her an 8 out of 10 as well. I don't think she's making it through this season. The next one, Firecracker. I am incredibly intrigued to see what they're doing with her story, because Firecracker is an interesting character, somebody who I already was like, oh my god, I'm going to hate this character. They're going to be so over the top. I really don't want anything to do with her. I thought it was going to be another similar to like Stormfront, where it's like, oh man, why are we doing this? Why do we just have so many like evil people? And then we had the conversation with her and Starlight, and we realize why she is the way that she is, and the fact that Starlight basically is the reason she's kind of evil a little bit. And I am incredibly excited to see what they do with this Firecracker character. I think that she's somebody who is a lot smarter than she kind of like gives off, and I think that she's definitely going to be somebody who's going to be a huge influential character for the Seven, and I think that she's somebody who's definitely going to help the movement for the political stuff that they're trying to do, and kind of just help keep superpowered beings in power. And I think that even though Homelander is probably going to get annoyed by her and he's probably going to have a couple of issues with her, I don't think he's going to kill her off. So I'm going to assume she's going to be a solid like 3 out of 10. I don't see her passing away. That being said, she hasn't been in the show as long, so I don't really know how to feel about her character, but I'm assuming she's going to live. And if she does die, it's going to be one of the boys who kills her. It's not going to be like a superhero. It's not going to be Homelander. Because I think that's one of the main things right now, is I'm trying to think about, would Homelander kill this character? And then I'm kind of forgetting that like other characters could potentially kill other characters as well. But I don't think Homelander would kill her. If she does die, it's probably going to be the boys. So like I said, I'm going to give her like a 3 out of 10. And then the last member of the Seven, he's not officially the member of the Seven yet, but we're going to talk about Ryan. I don't think they would kill a kid. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets caught in the crossfires at some point and he gets seriously injured at the end of the season. I would think that there's probably going to be a situation kind of similar to last season where Soldier Boy almost like attacked Ryan, and like, what's it called? Homelander and Butcher kind of had to come together to kind of like protect Ryan. I feel like something like that is going to happen, but it's going to be Homelander accidentally hurting Ryan and then Ryan kind of standing up against him or leaving. So I don't think he's going to die, but I think he's going to get seriously injured, and he's going to end up switching sides. So, in my opinion, that's what's going on with Ryan. I'm going to give him like a 1 out of 10. There's always a slight chance that he might pass away, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the boys would do that. But yeah, that was all of the members of the boys, all of the members of the Seven. Now we got just a bunch of little side characters to talk about. Huey's parents. I think his mother is some kind of secret soup who's like a shapeshifter or something like that. That's my little fan theory. I'm not going to make a whole video about it or talk about it. I just think that it's going to be a shapeshifter. It's going to be revealed that it's somebody who works for Vought, and it's not actually Huey's mom. Or it's going to be like a Temp V hallucination, because so far Huey's the only character who's interacted with her. That's neither here nor there. But Huey's dad is definitely dying this season. I'm calling it now. 10 out of 10. Huey's dad passing away. The next one, Victoria Newman. I don't think she's going to die. I think that if anything, she's going to become even more powerful. And so I'm going to give her like a 1 out of 10. Anybody could die, so I'm not going to give her a 0 out of 10, but I don't see it happening. And then kind of similar with Ryan, Victoria Newman's child is now a superhero and is kind of out and about, and she has all this Temp V and stuff like that. Well, no, she has Permanent V, and she has superpowers. But I would not be surprised if something happens and Victoria Newman's daughter dies, and it pushes Victoria Newman over the edge, and she ends up working with the boys by the end of the season. I know I've said that about a lot of different characters, but right now there's so many different free agents, and the boys are kind of all over the place, and all these other characters are kind of all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if this season ends with Victoria Newman switching sides and working with the boys, because Homelander pushes her to out herself as a superhero, and it kind of ruins their entire political journey that they're going on. So my prediction, Victoria Newman's daughter is going to pass away at some point in the season, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think more than likely it's gonna happen. And now, last 2 characters, we got Singer, which is the person who's running for president with Victoria Newman. He's 100% dying this season. 10 out of 10. One of the superheroes is gonna kill him, because the whole thing is they want Victoria Newman to be the president, and they just are having her run as the vice president so that when Singer dies, she'll step into the right spot. And then the last one, Ashley, 10 out of 10. I think she's going to pass away. But yeah, that was it for this video, guys. I absolutely sped ran that, and I'm sorry if I was speaking too fast or if I slurred my words a little bit, because I am trying to make this video very quick and simple and to the point. Currently, my record schedule is kind of all over the place. I've been going to the gym a lot and doing a lot of different things outside of YouTube videos, which is weird for me, because usually YouTube is 100% my focus all the time. But that being said, that was it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by and checking it out. I love and appreciate you guys so much for watching. And if you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Back at it again, but that's a relevant flow. So smooth, they calling me Mr. Elegant. Like an elephant, I got a long nose. Like a president, I've got a few hoes. Swift with a stutter, I'm smooth like butter. Don't see it coming when I slip undercover. Like a big dog, but I don't bite.
I'm still a big broad. I'd win that fight. Come match you and I knock out your lights.